I arrived in the Dubrovnik, Croatia port on a Regent Seven Seas cruise from Venice to Athens. I have to say, out of all the port stops on this cruise, this was the most striking port on arrival. The bridges that span the river are so majestic, and up on the top deck of the ship, you could see 360-degree views of the area. Very, very striking. Once we had docked, I joined a motor coach excursion that toured the Dubrovnik Riviera. We started with a visit to a flour mill and fabric stamping mill, which was in the Konavle Valley. The Luja River fed the mills, and we walked through a wooded area to the fabric stamping mill. All the buildings and pathways were very rustic, and with the stream running through the area, it made it quite the pretty setting. We were given a demonstration of the flour mill and the fabric stamping technique, then treated to a snack of prosciutto, cheese, bread, olives, and pickles. We had time to relax by the stream before boarding the bus and heading towards Cavtat. I know it looks like Cavtat, but it is pronounced Cavtat. Cavtat is a resort village right on the Adriatic. We only had about 45 minutes to explore. Before we were let loose, we were told there was a pretty path on a peninsula that you could circumnavigate, and a cathedral where you had to scale a bunch of stairs to get to the top. However, we were also told that both of those destinations would be hard to do in the amount of time we had. So I went partway on the path and partway on the stairs to see a little bit of both. The town has some archways at one end that make for some dramatic views. Lots of docks and boats, plenty of shops, restaurants, and hotels. It was a great place to relax and take a stroll by the water. It definitely felt like a great vacation spot for the locals and tourists. I would have liked to have spent more time there. We took off after that and went to Dubrovnik's 16th century walled old town. This is the main tourist attraction of Dubrovnik, and it was quite crowded. You can immediately see why it is so popular, though. It is a gorgeous old town where you see something new and interesting around every corner. I love the way the restaurants spilled out into these tiny alleyways. So charming. I left the tour group soon after we entered the city because I heard you could walk on the walls of the town. I thought if I walked uphill, I would find an entrance to the upper walkway. I ended up walking all over the town with some pretty steep grades, but never finding the walkway. I was about to give up when I finally spotted an entrance. I started up the stairs, only to be stopped and told it was closed. I was too late. I also discovered that there was a charge, which was 27 euros when I looked it up. So my search for the wall was a bit of a fail, but it actually gave me a different perspective of the town than most of the tourists who pretty much stay on the main walkways. I was able to traverse some of the most beautiful narrow pathways that led to some local homes and interesting views. I found shops in unusual places. Sometimes you find the most interesting things when you go off the beaten path. Here are some of the many sights I took in as I traveled all around the city, both inside and outside the city walls. And I definitely got my steps and stairs in that day. There are many bars and restaurants inside the walls, and right outside the entrance is a terrace with some patio restaurants that have amazing views. I was able to catch some of the sunset from the terrace while waiting for the bus to return us to the ship. One of the cons of traveling on a cruise ship is that you don't always have enough time in port to see everything you want to see. I tend to move quite quickly, so am usually satisfied. However, Dubrovnik is one of the ports where I wish I could have had another day to explore. It really is quite a beautiful area, and there was much more to see. Please look for my other videos along the Venice to Athens route, and if you'd like to follow more of my senior and solo travels, please click subscribe below. Cheers!